Hi, I'm Alex.
Hey y'all, and I'm Ryan, and this is
Alex and Ryan Unscripted. Welcome back, everyone, to episode 14.
Hey y'all.
We are going to talk about living arrangements. Living, is that what you say?
I mean, kinda, yeah.
Just, I forget what the name of it is already.
Like living alone,
Yeah.
living with your significant other, your spouse.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Y'all see the title. Y'all see what it is. But if you want to get into it, because I ain't got nothing.
Yeah, y'all. So I've been seeing some videos, and what's crazy is, so my friend and I, we just talk about like how we want our lives to look with our significant others, meaning our husbands, right? And she actually stated this. This is where I first heard it.
Mm-hmm.
But she stated that she doesn't want to sleep in the same room as her husband.
Mm.
And I was like, what? Because I'm a cuddler, y'all. And yeah. And I'm like, what? And she's like, yeah, like I want my own space. It's like we can, like, you know, be in the same room, like sleep in the same room, like here and there. But every night, no. I need him to have his room. I need me to have my own room.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's so interesting to me. Like, I don't know. I thought that was just so different. And then my other friend actually, she said she wouldn't mind, because I saw this lady on TikTok. She posted 2 houses, but they're connected by like a bridge.
Mm.
And she was like, I would prefer this when I get married. Like, we have our own homes, but we have a connecting piece.
Oh,
and so when you get on my nerves, I can just go to my home, or when I get on your nerves, you can just go to your home. And I'm like, what? And then my friend, she's a year younger than me, but she was like, I actually would love this as well. Like, she has her son, but she's a single mother right now. And she was like, I've been doing this for a long time. Like, I don't mind. I would prefer having my own space still, but us being connected. And I was like, what? Like, this is just so interesting to hear, because I mean, yes, growing up, you know, we in movies are actually, my parents did sleep in. I can't. Wow, actually, now that I think about it, they did sleep in 2 different rooms. So why is it so outlandish? I mean, not outlandish, excuse me. I don't want to say outlandish. I just wonder why it's so unique for me. Maybe because it's my preference.
Yeah.
And I don't know, just to hear that, it's like, whoa. But I've been seeing a lot of videos come out on TikTok, and they're saying like how they are sleeping in 2 different rooms, but a lot of them are older women.
Mm.
The younger women is only been myself, excuse me, not myself, my friends, my 2 friends. But all the other women I'm seeing online, they're older, and they're like, I've been living alone. I've been living this way. I've been sleeping this way for years now. And now that I'm married, it's like, that doesn't stop. Like, I can't sleep with him. I'm like, whoa. Yeah, that is so interesting to me. And it's not saying, you know, what's right and what's wrong. It's just like, it's your preference. And on your preference, it's your comfort. Like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. I know my mama and papa, they slept 2 different rooms. I don't think their whole entire when they were together and being married and stuff. But yeah, my mama had the bedroom and my papa slept out in the garage. But that was like his like man cave. He had a TV out there, he had a bed. That's where he smoked, did all that stuff out in the garage. But yeah, and that kind of came later. I think that kind of came later when like my mama started really getting sick. So I think at one point they were sleeping together. And then my papa did snore too. So that was bothering my mama. So he got kicked to the, he had to go to the garage. But yeah, and I know a few other people who actually sleep in separate rooms. Like the woman has really usually like the nicest room, the biggest room.
Yeah,
And then
yeah,
the men have just, well, there's your virgin right there, you know?
yeah,
So I guess, yeah, I guess I would consider it, but I think I would just consider it more of like, okay, you have like a man cave and I have like my own cave. You know what I mean?
I
But
mean,
we do
that's
come
a big
together.
deal. Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
But we
I'm gonna
do
have
come
my space.
together. Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, I would like to sleep in the same bed as my person. But I could also see, like, I've been living this, like, you've been living a certain way for a long time. And now all of a sudden, since we're together, you want me to change it? I mean, we could still be together, but you just sleep over there. You know, like, we're together.
Yeah,
No.
yeah. I mean, I get that. I get
Yeah,
that.
I could see it.
I guess what kind of makes me question is when, okay, before I get into that, because we're talking about like how they've been for a long time before they got with their husband or their wife.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of them would say, oh, well, they like to stay up late or they like to watch the TV or something, or they snore or they sweat or they, I don't know, it's something in their sleep, you know what I'm saying? Or it's something that they're doing that they're like, oh, I can't get with it. So let's just not sleep together.
Mm-hmm.
But what I guess kind of raised an eyebrow for me is when they're like, oh, when you get on my nerves, just, you got your space, I got my space.
Yeah.
Or like when you're annoying me, when you're frustrating me. And I don't know. I personally, in my marriage, I don't want that. Now, granted, I do believe, okay, we need some space.
Yeah.
I'm so quick to say we need a break, but we need some space. But that doesn't, I don't know. Let me go to and I'm not saying that these people are like, whatever. I'm just say what I prefer. When I say space, it's like, let's end this conversation. Let's put a pin in it and come back to it.
Yeah.
Cause I don't know, to be like, oh, well, you got your house and I got mine, or you got your room and I got mine.
Yeah.
It's just like, I don't want that in my marriage.
Yeah.
I don't.
I don't either.
And well, who's that actress name? I think it's Sherilyn Ralph. Her and her husband live in 2 different states, 2 different regions, like 2 different parts of the country.
Oh wow.
And people were questioning it. It was all over social media. And they're like, "Oh, are they in a good marriage? Are they not?" And she was like, "We are fine. Like we are a-okay.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't nothing going on but the rent." Well, I'm sure they'll. But she was like, "We good over here. Like I go visit him and he comes visit me. Like we are good."
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, "What different state?" This is another TikTok couple. And they talked about how when they initially got married,
Mm-hmm.
they lived in 2 different states because of their jobs.
Mm-hmm.
But I think they said, as they look back on it, she was like, I didn't have to work that job for real.
Right.
I should have went with my husband. Excuse me. Like we should have compromised somewhere and been together because it was rough on their marriage. Some people are meant for long distance. And some people, I'm not. I'll tell you now. And I ain't never been in a relationship, but I know me, okay? We are not sleeping in separate rooms. We are definitely not having separate houses. If anything, we're having multiple properties, okay? Ownership. And, we're definitely not living in 2 different parts of the country. Like, I need you by my side, physically. I need you here. I need your arms around me as we sleep. Now, granted, it's like, well, yeah, sometimes you're not gonna cuddle every night, like,
Yeah.
but back to back, like I need physical contact.
Yeah. And I feel that because I like to share space. Because I think just like with my upbringing, it's kind of like I really haven't been alone. Just like living alone. Cause it's like you go from your parents' house to then go into college and you're sharing a dorm with someone.
Mm-hmm.
Then I did live alone for a little bit, but I eventually moved because I was in a relationship. I went out of state with him.
Oh yeah.
To then come back, and I'm like, well, I gotta get myself together, mama. Here I come at my mama's house. To then moving back in with the dude. I haven't been by myself in a long time. Barely. Have I ever really been by myself? I haven't. So I think that's where mine comes in. Like we're gonna share a space. We're gonna share the same bed. I mean, you can have your separate room, but you're not gonna be in there all day. You're gonna need to come out.
Exactly.
You know? Like, I'm gonna need you to come out and sit in the living room with me. Because even when I was with my ex, which granted we were still in the same house, but like separated. But even then, I would still go in the front room and be there. Granted, I did have my daughter, but like, you know what I mean? Like, even like I guess with being it with my mom, I still go downstairs and we still talk and we still have conversations. But then we eventually go to our separate rooms. Or, just being young and living like with your family is going into like your sister's room and like just talking and being cool, or y'all meet each other downstairs in the kitchen and y'all just chopping it up, kind of thing.
Yep.
So yeah, I couldn't do a separate home.
No.
Like I could do it for a little bit. Okay. We're trying to figure out our careers. One of us has to move. One of us has to be with that other person and go to that house. But I couldn't see a whole separate house where you living over there and I'm living over here. And for the rest of our lives, I could not. No.
Mm-mm.
I need.
I built that way.
Yeah, I need you. I need you near me. Even though a lot of my relationship was long distance. He was from the same city, but when I got out of college, he was still in school, out of state.
Yeah. For me, it's about the same kind of. But when I graduated college, went to Jersey, and that was a whole roommate, like the whole house. Well, me and my friend shared a room, and then we had 2 roommates, and they shared a room. So it was like 4 people to like a house. It was part of the AmeriCorps program. Then after that, I did, move to Indy, and I had my own space. But after a while, my brother moved in with me. I'm trying to think. I went home. So yeah, I definitely have moments where no. In Bloomington, I had a roommate. In Bloomington, I had a roommate. Wow. In Chicago, I had a roommate. Yeah. I would have like small periods of where I have the place to myself, and then I would have a roommate.
Mm-hmm.
But what's crazy is, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, could I live alone for real?
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, when I went to Houston, I had a roommate, and then I got my own place. I was only in there, and it's crazy. It's only for a couple of months. I don't think I ever had my own place for a full year. Like living alone by myself for a full 12 months. I can't.
Well, how long were you here in the city?
2 years.
And you had a place here.
Yeah. But after some months, my brother moved in with me.
Oh.
And then after that, I moved in with my friend.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went to Chicago and moved in with my friend. And then I got my own place. But where I stayed, it was community living. So it's like, we share the living room, but we all have our own individual rooms.
Mm-hmm.
And I had that for a couple of months to myself. And then I got a roommate. And then I moved into another apartment on the hall. And I had that to myself for a couple of months. And then I got 2 roommates. So, yeah. And then even in Houston, when I had my own place, it was a studio. So yeah, there's no roommates in there, and that was even for a full year.
Oh wow! So you really haven't been living single, huh?
Ah, I would say at most it's probably 8-7 months, which
Yeah.
is crazy. Cause oh my gosh, and I can't believe. Well, cause I'd be like, oh my gosh, God, I want to live alone. I want to live alone. I want to live alone. And then when I'm alone, I'd be like, after a while,
Mm-hmm.
I'd be like, okay, Lord, it's getting a little quiet.
Yeah.
It's getting a little quiet. And that was part of our, topic for the day, y'all. Like, living alone, is it peaceful, serene? Like, and don't get me wrong, I love my own space. I actually
Mm-hmm.
do want my own space. But it's just after a while, I guess something just be like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I need someone here. And that's so interesting to me. Well, also, y'all, I grew up with tons of siblings.
Mm-hmm.
So majority of my life, can you say majority? I guess 18 years of my life. I've lived with tons of people, my family,
Yeah.
my siblings. And then again, leaving, I just read on my experiences, like my living experiences, like I've always had a roommate, except for like 7-8 months out the lease.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's for the majority of the time I have somebody living with me.
Right.
And now I'm like, here I am now. We're about to leave. Well, we got a couple months till the lease is up. And again, I'm asking for my own. I always want my own place. I always want my own place.
Right.
But it's like, it's not that I want a roommate. I want a husband.
Yeah.
It's not that I want another roommate, because that's not
Mm-hmm.
what I want. I want my husband. So we'll see what the future holds, what the Lord got in store. But yeah, I don't mind living alone. Like I said, I like living alone, because living alone, it's your space, it's your safe haven, and then your cleanliness. That's
Yeah.
the thing. When you got roommates, you got to be considerate of how they clean, question mark, question
Mm-hmm.
mark. I don't know if that's the best way to put it, but I love cleanliness. And when you don't clean like me, it's like, okay, it's okay, but well, it'll have to be okay.
Yeah. From my experience, I haven't really, which I said before, I haven't lived by myself for a long time. I think mine was probably like 6 months, because I left that lease pretty early.
Oh yeah.
Just to go with him. But yeah, only 6 months out of my whole life I have lived by myself. And I will say, I do think living alone is peaceful, but I do remember it just being empty. Like, it's like, okay, I'm home. And it's like, now what do I do? You know what I mean? Like, yes, chill. Like, don't get me wrong. When I come home, I love to chill and relax. But like, it was just when it's so quiet, it's just like, my gosh, it's so quiet. I can't just get up and go to like the next room to go talk to my sister or go talk to my mom. You know, it's just me in this house. like, but I am realizing that I'm not going to be living single probably for the rest of my life, because I have a kid.
Wait. Oh, okay.
So I'm always gonna. She's always gonna be my. I'm always gonna have company with her, you know.
Right.
And then hopefully I'll find someone before she turns 18, and if she wants to get out the house or she goes off to college, that I'll have a spouse, so then I really won't be alone. Not that I don't mind being alone, because I do love my own space, but I am okay with having my own space within a shared house, just as long as that space, like my space, do not bother me. in my space when I don't want to be bothered. Like, I don't mind people coming into my room and stuff like that. Like, you know what I mean? But like, if I'm not feeling up to it, let me just have my space. You know? Yeah. So I really haven't been alone. I don't mind it. Like,
Living
I do
alone?
and I don't. Huh?
Living alone?
Yeah, like I don't mind not being alone, like not living alone. Like, I don't mind living with people. Or, you know, like having someone there.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. I don't mind. Because I just feel like an empty house is just like, it's too quiet for me. Even though I hate
Yeah,
when
it's
it's too
like,
late. But, you know.
it's like after a while, it's just like,
Yeah.
this was nice. This was nice. Like, I'm ready to have some company now. And
Yeah.
it's like, yes, I know you can always invite people over because I do. And I think that's also part of the reason why I may love to host.
Mm.
That's why I loved hosting when I did have my place, my first apartment. Well, first of all, it was my first apartment. And my living room was pretty big. And I had a nice sized dining area.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, oh my gosh, no, I guess I can say that. I guess I did like the host because I wanted people over. I wanted company.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, there's moments where I didn't want company. So it's like, give or take. But, wow, same thing when I went to Houston. Wilmington, no, I didn't want to be there long anyway. So it was like, no, hosting. But even in Bloomington, I was just like, God, I want this big place so I can have people over again. And I ended up with a studio. And I was like, God, I have everything I prayed for but the size. Why'd you give me a studio? But what's crazy is I needed a studio.
Mm-hmm.
I did because, man, maybe I don't actually like living alone. But no, that's not true because I do. But when I got the studio, I was like, initially I was upset about the size, but I'm just like, no, this is what I need.
Yeah.
This is what I needed. Because even in Chicago, when I had like the whole place to myself, it's like 4 rooms and, big. Did you ever come to the place in Chicago?
I don't think so.
But it's a big area, but you've seen pictures and videos, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And my friends did come. It's like, girl, this is like an Airbnb. Like, and it was that big, and it's so nice, very nice, great amenities. And I was like, oh, I got this whole place to myself. I love it. I love it here, you know. And then after a while, I don't know what it was, but something changed. And I was just like, oh, it's starting to feel a little empty. Like, this is a really big space, and it's just me. Oh my gosh. And then slowly, and did I pray for roommates? I don't think I did. I was like, God, I don't think I want to be alone anymore. I think I said that. And then roommates started coming in, literally. Like, oh, hey, Ryan, you're about to have a roommate. Like, that's what they would do when they were sending people in.
Mm.
And then when I got the 2 roommates, I was like, oh my gosh, this is interesting. But I liked it at the same time because every time I came back home, so I had 2 guy roommates, which was crazy. And my mother was going crazy. Yeah. One was a doctor and one, I think he was in grad school for engineering, but he had 2 Airbnb properties.
Oh, wow.
He would be in the living room a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I come back, he would, hey, how's work? And I was like, oh my gosh.
That's funny.
Oh my gosh. Well, I was remote, but I would leave sometimes to go, like to work event spaces. Or when he would come in, I would be like, how was school? How are the properties going? He'd be like, let me tell you about my cleaning service. Like, we would sit there and literally talk like that.
Yeah.
And then when I told him I was like moving, he was like, oh my gosh, I wish I could like put you in my pocket and just take you everywhere with me. He's like, cause you are just so like, we have really good conversation. And he was funny. He was Korean. I think he was Korean. And we just got to talking about like just random stuff. Like, I don't know. He was crazy. He used to be in the army, but he was funny. And our other roommate, he was really quiet, but then he would give us health tips.
He was a
Because
doctor.
he was yeah. I forget what he specialized in. I think something was nutrition or something. But he would be like, I was like, oh, I want to lose weight. Like, what I got to do? I think he was a dietitian. Yeah, I think he was a dietitian. And then his family came, and he was of another ethnicity. And I can't remember what happened, but I was talking to them. Well, me and the other roommate was trying to have a conversation with them about it. They understood much English. I can't remember. I think the dad did, but the mom didn't really speak much English. But then when he came back, he was like, oh my gosh, my family love you. They said you have a beautiful smile and da da da. I said, oh, really? Like, oh, I couldn't tell. But then again, the language barrier.
Yeah.
But there were moments I'm like, okay, let me stop talking now because they probably like this girl. And he was like, no, they were just so like, they just loved you talk and be like passionate about. I was like, oh my gosh. But yeah, I love hosting. I love having people over. But it's crazy because I do have my moments where I'm just like, please don't call my phone. Please don't call my phone. And I be having like on days, it's crazy because on days where I gotta do stuff, my phone be blowing up. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Don't hit my line. And it's not like I don't want you to call me. It's just like, I don't know, when I got a lot of things to do and then I get calls, like my mind just flutters. I don't know.
Yeah.
Cause like I don't want to ignore, but I have been hitting that D&D button pretty strong these days. Especially when I'm recording and stuff and creating content and trying to edit. It's like I'm still learning how to find a balance in that.
Right.
But speaking of editing, so I create content and I don't know. So people are creating living alone content, right? And that's in the title. And it's like when we watch your videos anyway, you kind of give the illusion that you're living alone anyway. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I feel like when you put living alone, I'm just like, oh my gosh, you're letting people know that you actually live alone and you're getting robbed. Oh, excuse me. I'm not saying that means you're going to get robbed, but I just feel like you're putting yourself as a target when you say living alone. Because, I mean, majority of us are living alone anyway, so we know that, or we don't. You know what I'm saying? But you're showing us that you
do.
You do.
Yeah.
But when you're like, oh, by the way, I definitely am living alone. It's like, oh, girl.
Yeah.
And you're on the first floor. And you said your door was messed up. Like, why would you do that?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm seeing way too many young women who are making it out here off their content creation, or they're making some money. I mean, some good money. And they're getting robbed. Now, granted, they say majority of robberies is an inside job, meaning family, friends, or somebody you know.
People, someone close.
Yes. Because the way they hit this girl, it was like, how they know that was behind that yellow coat tucked in that corner? Like, it was some of these things. I'd be like, and they'd be like, I just don't know, girl. It's somebody you know, okay? Because ain't no way. But for some folks, it is a random hit. But you're not helping when I'm living alone. Like, okay. Yeah. I don't think people should post that. Every trend is not a good trend.
No. Oh, wow. I didn't even think about that. Because that is one of my fears with living alone. Like, I'm actually terrified of that. Even when there's people in the house. That's one thing is like when I'm living with someone, it's a sense of security. Even in my bed. when I sleep with my daughter, I know my daughter cannot protect me at all.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know, it's like a sense of security for me. So like knowing that there's someone else in the house, I'm okay. So if something happens, all right, there's someone else who's here. It's not just me by myself.
Right.
But then living alone is like, yo, it's just me. Who's going to hear me? Can anyone hear me? If something bad happens, majority of people do not. They mind their business. You might have a few people here and there who will say something, but if someone, like, no one's going to hear me, so I'm just by myself in this house. Which I guess that's probably where, weapons and certain security, other security things, right, come into play. But, like,
yeah,
I can imagine. Because I be seeing, like, on TikTok, where I think it's to really promote the cameras, like the little Ring cameras.
yeah.
But I do
I'm
be seeing
getting me
people.
one.
Yeah, I be seeing people still breaking people's houses, even with the camera.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
That's what be scaring me. That's why I don't mind not living alone. I'm okay with living with someone.
Yeah, when living alone, you definitely got to take some precautions. That's why I'm like, why are you posting that kind of content?
Yeah.
Like, I know it's a trend, but it's like there are a lot of crazy people out here. And I saw this, I can't remember what they said exactly. It was this video I saw on TikTok, and they were like, people were crazy then and they're crazy now. And I'm just like, yeah, but you have to admit it's getting crazier.
Yeah.
Because there's just more access to everything and everybody now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, yes, I love creating content, and yes, I do showcasing a lot. It's like at the same time, I do take little steps to be kind of cautious of what I post and how I post it.
Mm-hmm.
Just also, like, when living alone, you do have to have a plan, an emergency plan. And just be ready for, and I hate to say it, but like, for things to go wrong, I guess.
Yeah.
Let me say it that way. You just gotta be careful. So yeah, I definitely tell myself, like, when I do get my own place, to get the camera, to like have just certain stuff set up just in case something goes down in Higley Town. Like, cause you just never know. People are so crazy and they seem bolder. Like, they're doing things in the daytime now.
Yeah.
Like, I saw one girl, she was literally walking her dog because, she got to take her dog out. And it's this guy walking across the street, daytime. I mean, the sun is out. You can see this man's face, everything, right?
Yeah.
He's walking across the street towards her. I think he was talking to her. And she said she felt like something's
Danger.
off with this.
Yeah.
Yes. And so I think her dog did. Like, so the animals I think the dog did, like, back to the house, and she started like slowly moving back. But he was still walking up on her. But casual. It wasn't no like, I don't know, he was just
Like
having a
walking
casual
fast.
conversation. No, he was taking his time.
Oh.
And she was like, okay, like, I don't want what you selling. Like, I don't want whatever you got going on. But she was slowly backing up to her place. And he wasn't even running. Like, I think he did run when she kind of like sped up a little bit and ran to her house. And he sped up and like went up to the door and started like trying to open the door. And he had zip ties. He had gloves. I think he took some gloves out and zip ties out his pocket.
Oh.
Yeah. And so she was like, she locked that door ASAP. I think she went to her back door, locked it, or like made sure it was locked. And I think she started calling the police. It was looking on her camera, and she was like, go away, like, go away. And that man was sitting there, putting on his gloves, getting his zip ties out, trying to open that door. And I'm like, in the broad daylight.
That's crazy.
And she's telling him, I'm calling the police. That man was still trying to get in that door.
Mm.
And then I think he like left and like was hiding in her bushes in the front. Like, is she just going to like, whatever, you know, sometimes they just don't.
I mean, that's how the
But he
movies
didn't
go.
leave. I think he tried to look around like how to get in. I'm like,
Yes.
what? That's demons. Like, ain't no
Yeah.
way. Broad daylight. I'm telling you, I'm calling the police. You still suiting up.
Yeah. And best believe I'm having multiple knives. I'm packing multiple knives on
Girl.
me. Because, sir, as soon as you step in this door, listen, I'm going to do everything I can to fight.
Okay, my dad always said, give them that hit or quitter. I said, what does that mean? Give them that hit so they won't hit you again, whatever that hit is. Okay?
Yeah.
I'm just saying. You before me.
I couldn't imagine. That's terrifying.
It is. It
Like the
is.
fear.
Yes. And if anything, I think seeing that video was like, oh, I definitely need to get me some cameras installed. Like, for sure.
Yeah.
Because she was shaken up. I think
Yeah,
she
I
went to her
could.
mother's for a while. But then people in
Sure.
the comments like, oh, he was watching you for a while. Because he knew when you walked
Possibly.
your dog. And he casually like, and that's what's scary.
Mm-hmm.
This man didn't run up on her. He didn't, because he could have ran up on her right there. But
Yeah.
he was just casually
He was
walking and
calm.
talking. Yes.
Mm-hmm. That's why when it comes to like, that's why if I'm living by myself, I need a dog, right? Because I do think that dogs can kind of sense certain things.
They do.
'Cause I do remember, which is kind of off of like what our topic, but I remember being at my mom, like being here at my mom's house, and I was taking Nova outside, and Nova is a super friendly dog. She loves people. She's not a huge fan of other dogs, but she loves people. And it was
Mm-hmm.
late, and all of a sudden she started barking. Nova knows to stay in the yard. She does not go out the yard. She don't do none of that. She's actually a well-behaved dog. Nova was barking, and I'm like, what the heck is she barking at? It's because there's a dude across the street walking towards like the house. Like he was walking across the street towards where we was. Right?
She was in the front?
Yeah, we were in the front yard. I was taking her out to use the restroom. And I'm minding my business. Like, not even paying attention. Nova starts barking. And I'm like, what is she barking at? And then like, there's street lights and I saw him walking. It's a dude who I think he is weird. He doesn't talk. He just walks around and be in the middle of the street. And there's been a few times where he has walked into our garage before on some weird, but it was like when the boys were here and like, I don't know, it was weird. But Nova spotted him, was barking. When I say she was barking, she was like barking at him, like for real, like aggressively. And I think the hair on her back was standing up.
Ooh.
Everything. Nova's not an aggressive dog, but hey, you want some weird stuff and it's dark. Nova's like, I don't play that, And he kept walking, even with her barking. Like literally was walking on the sidewalk where we were. It was like, you have the whole other sidewalk over there. What is your purpose?
Yeah.
And so I'm like, come on, Nova. Nova was not trying to go. She's like, no, I'm going to sit here and watch this dude. Was barking at him while he was right there. She didn't like bite him or nothing like that because she don't really do that. But I'm trying to get her to come on, let's go, let's go. I'm like, dude, you're being weird. Go. Like, why are you over here? Literally said that.
Yeah.
Sister came out the house like, what's going on? I said, this dude being weird. Yeah. Because people know when Nova bark, it's either at the door or it's something for real serious. And we went into the house. And I'm like, now every time I see him, I'm like, you're weird. You're weird. And that's why, like, I feel like, not to say that he was going to do something, but it's like, your actions are weird. It's late at night. Why are you coming over here? We're minding our business. You could have walked on the other side. You could have walked in the middle of the street like you usually do. But no, you were literally walking towards us, like straight face, silent, walking towards us. Like I know it was weird, but that's where I'm glad Nova saw that, because I wouldn't have seen that until last minute. But she saw that. She sensed it and was like, red flag, pay attention.
Yeah.
Like, you're not paying attention.
It's a different thing if you're just walking, right?
Yeah.
Just whatever. But to do something, even it insinuates that you're doing something, like,
Yeah.
nah.
And that's what it was. Because Nova could care less. If there's a person across the street walking with a dog, Nova's like, okay, and I don't care about that person. But him, yeah, she barked at him. She don't bark at anybody else, really. Well, you know Nova. Nova's the friendliest dog. She's so friendly. Too friendly at that. Loves people. But yeah, that would scare me to where I can't live by myself no more. And I'm gonna need a plan, especially if I have my daughter. I'm gonna need a plan.
Yeah, oh my gosh, it was scary to see, because she showed us the Ring camera, like, footage, and that man had zip ties. It was just standing there putting on gloves. Oh, he was, wrapping up his face too. He didn't even have nothing on his face initially, and I was like, wait, since what? How bold! Like, that man put the hood on, he put the mask on, like, he's sitting up there literally just putting everything on, taking his time. Got the zip ties out the pocket. It's like, oh my gosh. Like, you came with intentions. You knew and that's the thing. I believe these people pray. Like, they watch you.
Mm-hmm.
Because for him to do all that, it's like, oh yeah, he definitely knew you was living alone. And I'm just saying, for you folks posting these living alone diaries, it's not helping.
Yeah, you gotta be careful.
Yeah. Gotta be careful, y'all. For real, for real.
So what is your, I guess, to get into more detail, what is your, like, ideal living with, like, a spouse?
I definitely prefer us to be under one roof, for sure. And sleeping in the same room. And even, like, you know how they be like, oh, he's in the doghouse now, or he's on the couch now. Like, I saw some videos, like, where the guys be like, I'm not sleeping on the couch. If you upset with me, we're going to talk it out, but I'm not going on the couch. Like, or I'm not going in the guest room. Like, it is like, of course, I wouldn't want that to happen. Like, I wouldn't want us to get to a point where it's like, oh, you got to get on my face. Like, you need to go another room, because clearly, you off your rocker, But I don't know. I mean, I hope it never comes to that, but I don't know.
Yeah.
But my idea is that when we do annoy each other, frustrate each other, it's like, okay, we just know when to give each other some space. But not like, all right, babe, I'm going to sleep in the guest room and give you some space. What you doing in it? Like, I don't know. That would, to me, they'll be like, what you on? What you doing? For real? We ain't that big, but again, we ain't that mad. Like, come on, what you doing? Because the thing is, even when I'm upset with you, and this is just me personally, I don't want you to be upset with me or me to be upset with you to the point where it's like, I can't even sleep next to you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if we're going to be upset, we're going to be upset in this bed. Okay, I may not be touching your leg or touching your arm, but you better be on the left side or the right side of the bed.
Right.
And yeah, because I definitely want us to be able to communicate our emotions, our feelings, what we like, what we don't like, what we annoyed with, what we frustrated with. But it's like, well, even with family, like, we sleep in separate rooms, of course. But it's just like, we family. Like, I don't know. I don't want to get to a point where it's like, are you in that room and I'm in this room? Because I feel like that can easily become a habit or a pattern over time. And then I don't want you staying there and I'm staying here. This is just how we live in. Like, I don't want that. So my ideal setup is sleeping in one room, being under one roof, one house. And if we do have issues, if we do get annoyed or frustrated with each other, like, we know to give each other space, but at the end of the day, we still sleeping in the same bed.
Yeah.
What's yours?
It's pretty similar. Because I don't do that whole, like, going to sleep mad kind of thing. I do not like that. I do like to talk things out before going to bed. So we're going to sleep in the same bed, regardless if we just had an argument. You know what I mean? Like, to me, I feel like that's just restless sleep, for me at least. I guess, like, if we are married, then I do want one house, one bed with us sleeping in it. I mean, there could be multiple beds, but, like, no, at the end of the night, you're coming in this room and I'm going in that room too, and we're sleeping.
Yeah.
Again, we're gonna talk things out. If you're mad, well, you're gonna have to. We're gonna be up till 4 a.m. We better talk.
Yeah.
Something
I like that. I agree. Yeah.
So then we can go to sleep. Because there's no, I'm just gonna sleep out here on the couch, unless it's the end. You know what I mean? Like, all right then, like. But I could see, like, if we're dating and, like, we're together, I wouldn't mind separate houses. But I think I want, before we are married, I want to know that we can live together. I realize that. I'm realizing that now. I need to know that we can actually share a space and be happy, and, like, we can commingle in that space together. And there's no, like, walking on eggshells. There's no, like, oh, I'm sorry, like, I'm in your space. No, this is a shared space and we are together. We can let each other know, like, hey, I'm going to be over here. Leave me alone. You're not going to say it like that. But you know what I mean? Like, before we are married, we need to live together. Because I need to know. Because then it's like, what if we live together and it's like, oh, this person, they don't know how to clean up after themselves. You know what I mean? You was over here putting on a show before we got married. You make it sure before I come over, the house clean. You know what I mean?
Touches me over the door.
Yes, like, no, but for real, you actually don't clean, kind of thing, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of mine. I don't mind, but we would have to be, like, serious for that to happen. So yeah, to me, one roof, one bed, one house,
one band, one sound.
Yes. Because I can.
Oh man, I was going to say. Oh, about living with them before marriage. I don't know if I want to do that. Part of me, I mean, I used to. Well, no. Initially, I was like, no, I don't want to live with them. But then I was like, oh, well, what if? Because, like you said, and that's I guess one of my biggest things is your cleanliness.
Mm-hmm.
Are you actually clean? I mean, I feel like I can tell anyway. I feel like I will be able to tell, but I guess there's levels to it.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like tiptoeing around, like just being comfortable.
Yeah.
But then I went back to, like, no, I think we could live alone and then come together in marriage. Because I feel like, I don't know, but I feel like it'll be like a big surprise. Like, it'll be an adventure.
Yeah,
Like,
no.
oh, we never lived alone, and here we are. I mean, like, living together, and here we are living together. We got to make this work. Like, I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't see it that way, but I feel like it'll be like a big surprise. Hopefully, a good surprise, But yeah, I don't mind waiting until marriage. I even said engagement.
Mm.
That way it's like, okay.
Okay. I can see that.
Yeah. Yeah. Because boyfriend, girlfriend, I don't know. I feel like from not my personal experiences, but just when I seen like my friends and other friends and stuff, I can just see how it got like murky.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, cause I think my friend was engaged and then her lease was coming up and he was like, let's just get this place and we're going to get married like in a couple months anyway. So
Yeah.
I was like, I think I can do engagement.
Yeah. I can see that too.
Yeah.
See, I also think living in, like moving in with them is kind of like, all right, are you committed for real? Because now we have shared responsibilities. And are you going to step up to the plate? Because it's different
Yeah.
with you by yourself, but now you're with someone and you have these shared bills. So are you going to hold your weight? Or do I got to carry it all? Or like, vice versa. Do they have to carry it all and she's not carrying her weight kind of thing? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, are we able to compromise when it comes to doing things in the house?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Or am I starting to see red flags because you so dang used to being in your own place that you can't even, you know what I mean? Like, you not even in your place is how it was for you, but now we have a shared space and it's like, well, that don't fly with me. You know what I mean? So it's like,
yeah,
that's what I would need to know because I don't want to feel uncomfortable in my own house. And I know that stuff can change, but also some people, they don't see, I guess, the issue in it. So it'd be hard for them to really change. But I'm hoping if that's the person for me, that they're willing to, like, you know what, I notice that this bothers you. Let me change it. Or you said this to me.
It takes the initiative.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what I need. Take the initiative. Like, if you're sensing or if you see we have one conversation and you move on that.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yes, that's what I need and want. But yeah, I definitely hear you on that. Yeah, I don't. That's why I'm like when he comes in my life, like I do want us to take our time and have the hard conversations early because I don't mind it. I don't know. Sometimes, like as I look at folks like on TikTok and they share their stories on how they, met their husbands and their wives, or when they got divorced, all these different love stories, and it's like, well, what did y'all talk about? Because some of this stuff they'd be like, oh yeah, we fell out because this, we fell out because that, we didn't work out because of this, and I'm just like, was any of this a conversation? And clearly not. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Or if it was like, you didn't dig deeper. Like, as for me, I'm digging deep. Okay. And I'm asking 21 questions. And if you're not giving it to me straight and you got some gray areas, let's go ahead and get into that gray area till it turns black and white. And if it's a turnoff for you, well, then you're not my guy. Cause like, I need to know these things. Right. I need to know who I'm dealing with for, who I'm living with for, who's going to be the husband of my children. I need to know how you really move and how you act for real before we can even become something, because I don't know. And like, people be like, oh, in the beginning, there's surface level, and why we gotta tap on the surface? If we really, I guess this is when we really get to the point where we're like, we want to be committed for real. Yeah. I'm taking a deep plunge.
Yeah.
I am, because it's like, why not? Why not go there?
Mm-hmm.
For real. Especially if you're talking about wanting to be with me a long time, like you want me to be your forever partner. Like when you get to talking like those kind of languages, like, oh, I can see us. Can you? Let's talk about it. Let's get into some things before you complete that sentence. Like, right. Let's talk about it. And don't shy. And that's the thing. Like, I really pray to God. And then, so Tony Gaskins, he was like, be careful when you ask God for a man that knows how to communicate or has emotional intelligence because he communicates in a way that may annoy you or frustrate you.
Mm.
And I'm just like, I guess I can see what you're saying, but I want that. I do. I do want someone that has emotional intelligence. I do want someone that communicates like plain. Because when you hit me with the gray areas, then you got my overthinking self overthinking. And then eventually I'm just like, no, what do you mean by that? Like, let's talk about that.
Yeah.
Okay, explain some more. Explain some more. And then it's not even like, purposely misunderstanding. It's when I ask my questions, I keep asking until I understand. And I need you to have the patience for that too. And granted, I'm just like, God, I know there's no perfect man. I know there's not, but you know how you made your girl. And you know the kind of man I need.
Right.
Like, because I really am trying to stop with the overthinking and all of that. It's just at the same time, I do like for people to over communicate. Actually appreciate that. I do appreciate over communication. I do believe it's a way to say things, right? Your tone, your words. I'm big on words and tone.
Yes.
And when I feel like that tone is off in the what, or
Yeah.
that tone is off at the end of the sentence,
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
So what you really saying? Because your sentence is pretty basic and it could mean nothing, but that tone that you use, what you really saying?
Yeah.
So it's like
You can't hide the tone.
yeah.
The tone. You can hide the words, play with the words a little bit, but the tone be like for real, because it be coming out.
Mm-hmm.
It really do.
So yeah, before we become committed for real, engaged, married, we gotta have the tough conversations.
Yeah, for sure. I can see that. That'd be same for me. Do we have anything else to say?
Yes, not. I'm just excited to see what the future holds. Because I keep saying all the time, like as I'm cooking everything or as I'm making on my bed or cleaning the living room, I'm like, oh, I can't wait to have my own place. I can't wait to move out again. I can't wait because it's like ideal things that I want in my home, right?
Mm-hmm. Same.
But then there's a part of me that be like, oh, well, do I want to live alone again for the next year, or do I actually want to meet him and live with him? Like, do I really want my own space, or am I really going to get my own space? Or is it now time to meet the Mr. Like, I don't know. I don't know what God has in store. I'm just like, God, I haven't lived on my own for a full year.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh my gosh, am I actually going to do that this time? Or am I going to meet him and who knows,
Yeah. I've been thinking the same thing too. I think I'm pushing for, whether it happens or not, if it's what God has planned for me to have my own place, it would be definitely different because I do have my daughter now. And I haven't been with her by myself. Ever since she's been born, I've been with someone. So I've been living with someone. But I do think with having my own place, like living single, that I think it will grow, like her and I, like our bond, but as well as other people, like my mom, to where her and my mom can just have their own thing without me being involved because I'm just here,
Yeah.
Because when I was gone, I can see that their bond, it grew. Because she would run and cry to my mom, or before she wouldn't. Like she's like, my mom, like, all right, I see you over there, But now it's like she's really going to my mom a lot more because I was out of the picture. So yeah, I do think it will help in that sense. But it's like also to be alone. I do, even though I know I just got out of a relationship, I think I am a sucker because I don't think I do want to be alone, but I also don't. Like living alone, kind of thing. So.
Okay. I wouldn't rephrase that. I know you're just joking, but I think you just, you had the experience. You saw what you like and what you don't like, what you prefer, what you don't prefer, what you're willing to tolerate and not tolerate, and you're going to move accordingly. I mean, I don't really, because, people, well, they moved on so quick. Yeah, because they were ready to move on. Like, some people, it's like, okay, I saw all I needed to see.
Yeah.
And now, it's time to get what I want and need.
Yeah.
And so, if you're ready for a relationship, then it's okay to be looking. It's okay to accept what's coming,
right.
So, yeah, that was that. And I don't know, but I'm excited for you, whoever he is. I'll be praying, girl. Well, I'm praying anyway. I pray for all my girls, okay? Because I know I want the best of the best of the best, the top of the notch, okay? And I've been praying the same thing for my friends. I'm like, I don't know about him. I need you to give them something better. I need them to see that that's not it, okay? Because I can see that it's not it. So, yeah, I'll be praying for all my girlfriends. Because it's crazy. Like, a lot of my, a lot of my girls, like, we're kind of on the same boat.
Mm-hmm.
Like, on our faith journey. When God win. Like, and, some of us has had our experiences of, like, guys and, I've been praying for us because I still believe there are some good men out here who is willing to go above and beyond for theirs. It's just at the same time, I pray that we don't settle. Even though it's hard because it's like, oh my gosh, where are they?
Yeah.
But I just pray that we don't settle and that we really do wait on God to give us that nod. Like, yeah, he the one. He the one.
Right. Yeah. Okay. And I believe that for you too. I believe it's gonna happen for both of us when the time is right.
Right.
Yeah. And I believe that for anyone else who's listening who's going through something similar.
Yes. Y'all too. Get y'all on the call as well.
Right.
Y'all on the call as well. I've been praying for guys, girls.
Yes. We're going to be good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I guess we can wrap it up. We can end it. That is the end of this call.
Right.
Of this topic of living single, living together, marriage, separate rooms, no separate rooms, how y'all like it or not.
Right.
So yeah, we can end this call and we'll see y'all next time.
See y'all in the next episode. And let us know in the comments, like, what are your thoughts, feedback, how you enjoying the podcast so far, and also what you want to talk about on our next call.
Yes. Most definitely. All right. Well, bye.
Bye, y'all.
Okay, I'll call you this time. Oh, that's funny.